This is Isaiah 36:6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt to all that trust in him. I like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahawashi, Kohoyam La Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rochakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Schwab Amawan back at you with another lesson. And going into that title, Rice Krispy Technocracy, right? Basically another update on, what this world is coming down to when it comes down to this RFID that eventually will be made mandatory, okay, which is the true MARK of the BEAST, okay. And let me read this again, Isaiah 36:6, but in the NLT. It says, on Egypt, if you lean on Egypt, it will be like a reed that splinters beneath your weight and pierces your hand. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, is completely unreliable. All right. And the reason the Lord is bringing that out is because you can only rely on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai in these last days, man. All right. And we're supposed to have our full trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, not having our trust in Egypt, which Egypt is a representation of America, okay? Because spiritually we are known as Sodom and Egypt. All right. Let me grab this. This is Isaiah 31. All right. And we might sound like a broken record bringing out these precepts over and over again. All right. But hey, scriptures repeat things over and over again. So do the prophets. All right. And we're gonna keep reminding you, all right, until we get up out of here. And whether you hear or forbear, all right, this is what the Lord commanded us to do. You see, so we can wipe the blood off our hands, and we gonna have to hear that excuse of, "Oh, you never told us." Okay, so this is Isaiah 30, and let me bring down to 12, and it says, "Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness, and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaketh cometh suddenly at an instant." Okay, grab it from the NLT. It says, "This is the reply of the Holy One of Israel, because you despise what I tell you, and trust instead in oppression and lies. Calamity will come upon you suddenly, like a bulging wall that bursts and falls. In an instant, it will collapse and come crashing down." All right. And what's going to come collapsing and crashing down? The system. Okay. The system of America. All right. This dollar bill is going to crash soon. Okay. Everything that is of the old world order, all right, is going to be brought down to bring in and usher in that new world order. All right. This is what they're preparing you for. Okay. This is why they keep, basically little by little taking away, things that you used to see. All right. And now they're bringing more in digital world. All right. 2026 is going to be a heavy year of just nothing but digitalization, man. Everything's going to be digital, which is already in that time now, because we are in what, the fourth industrial revolution, the internet of things. All right, so it can only make sense that in 2026 they're going to roll out so many different types of digital, advertisement. Okay, so let's grab a couple of these videos I have. All right, and then I'll close it out, because we got to usually be quick with these concerning the MOTB. All right, because these devils always trying to find ways to smack people with them strikes. All right, so let's grab this. Which one do I want? Let's try this one first.
thought I'd see the day where I'd be saying no pennies is wild as fuck. What the fuck you mean produces its final penny? Like, what are we supposed to do if we need 43 cents? Or if we need like 57 cents or something? Like, what are we supposed to do? That is wild as fuck. Like, we're really about to see how important a penny is. No funny shit. Because to not have no more pennies is so wild. Like, literally wild. I don't know what else is capable of happening in 2025 at this point. Just set the unicorns free. Because I'm ready to believe anything. Like, dead ass. We gotta be coming to the end of time.
And that's spiritual. She said that. I'm ready to believe anything. That's why a lot of people are going to fall for the bait. A lot of these people are just going to end up, being destroyed because they do believe anything. They believe in all these different philosophies. You see, this is why America is called Babylon the Great, the city of confusion, man, because everything just full of philosophies and confusion. The fact that she even said that is wild. You see, oh, I'm ready to believe anything. Well, that's what your massa, all right, that's what Esau has prepared for you, a bunch of nonsense, all right, that he's going to try to, suck you into, and you're going to believe it. You're going to fall for the bait, okay? That's what he is, a cunning hunter. And a hunter, all right, constantly baits you with his different types of lines that he throws out, as he's fishing. He's just constantly throwing out all different types of bait to see which one is suitable for you. You see? See, but those that believe in YAHAWAH'S, there is no baits that we follow after. All we do is hear the voice of YAHAWAH'S and we follow him, man. All right, which the voice will be the prophets, all right, that's bringing out this word. All right, the voice also being, you constantly meditating in the word. Blessed is he that readeth, you see? So this is why most of these women, a lot of these women are going to be, taken by surprise, man, because they're already deprived from wisdom at the end of the day, man. And a scripture say a clamorous woman is simple and she knoweth nothing. None of these women know what the hell's going on, She just knows that, all of a sudden, pennies are going to be stopped in production lines. And now what are we going to do for 57 cents? See, that should put fear in you, showing you that this collapse of this dollar bill is right around the corner. You see? And there's a reason why they stopped making the pennies, because there's going to be no more actual physical money. You see? We have a big transformation being brought, all right, upon the earth that's going to be from 2025 to 2026, man. All right. These things the future is in our hands. Okay, let's see if that can go over your head, or can you understand it metaphorically, man? The future is in our hands, if you understand what I'm trying to tell you, man. All right, and that's going by the way of this RFID, of them bringing it towards you, okay, and continually keep feeding you gradualism to make you think that these things are normal, man. You see?
Something. No more fucking pennies. Are y'all dead ass? Like, I need my pennies. I need my little 2, 3, 4 cents and stuff. Yes, I do.
And funny is,
what are we supposed to do if we really need?
And what's funny is that I've said it plenty of times. There's a bunch of documentaries called Zeitgeist, and one of them is called Adamans. If you go look that up, that's basically what they were saying in that one video, that we are no more worth. I believe it was a penny or it was $1. One of the two. I forgot. I haven't seen it in a while. It might have been $1. But regardless, even if it was $1 or not, all right, we are not worth no more than $1. It's pretty much like saying we're no more worth than a penny. You see? And that's how the government looks at you as, man. They don't look at you as a valuable thing, man. They look at you as worth nothing. Okay? So, society itself is worth nothing. That's why that penny is going to fall, man, along with the dollar. All right? Because that can only mean that the dollar's next. You see? And if the dollar's next, forget about a $5 bill, forget about a $10 bill, $20, $50, $100. Okay? It wouldn't matter at the end of the day, man. All money, physical money, is going to be taken out of the way for a reason. All right? Because there's no need for it in this new world order. You see?
43 cents. Yeah, 45 cents. What happened to the next 2 cents?
We don't even have to.
We need pennies.
It says RIP after 232 years. Okay, the U.S. Mint produces its final penny. All right, and I believe that was in it is in November. I think it was in November, like the 20th. A couple days ago was the last time. Okay, and that's why they pretty much want to have cash purchases become illegal. I did in a couple days ago on an update on these on this RFID. All right, cash purchases is going to become illegal at one point. Okay, so no more dollar. You can wave your hand to that. All right, instead of saying RIP to that penny, you should be saying RIP to this money that everybody worships. Okay, that the God that they had you worship for so long that is going to be taken out the way now. That God is no longer going to exist because New World Order requires you to have new gods. Okay, and the new God is going to be a digital Messiah now. You see, so let's grab another video here. I'm trying to make sure I don't go through the same ones that I've grabbed in the past. Let's try this one.
Here's some alarming news coming out of the UK. The government is now deciding how much carbon you're allowed to use every single day, starting with your food. Just take a look at this sandwich. It uses 8.1% of your daily dietary carbon allowance. The UK has started labeling foods based on how much carbon they emit.
And this is going to happen here in America because they have what you call that social credit score that's coming here. You got the UBI. All right. See, all this is going to go hand in hand with the system. You having universal basic income for sitting at home and basically collecting a paycheck. All right. Is going to connect to this social credit score. You see, and if your ass doesn't comply with the social credit score and keep your credit score to a certain amount that they need you to have, right, what's going to happen is you don't receive your universal basic income. Okay. They're going to it's literally a form of straight communism without you realizing it, and they had that coming for a long time. Why is it that pretty much every other part of the world that you go to, they pretty much have some type of form of communism, but America doesn't, showing you that America eventually will be in that same predicament. Okay, and that's ran by the elites. That's ran by the governments that are in power of these other countries. You see, and this is how they have come to conspire together to take the name of Israel out of remembrance. All right, and the reason that you haven't seen it in America because the Lord has been preserving America for last. You see, the Lord is preserving the best for last. America's Babylon the Great, so they're gonna be the best for last. Okay, and they're gonna get hit the hardest. They're gonna get hit with the hardest boom, the hardest bang. Okay.
They've been trying balance. The UK has started labeling foods based on how much carbon they emit. The goal is to limit how much carbon you can spend each day. They've been trying to implement this since 2008, and now it's finally here.
Look at that. That's the spirit. They've been doing this since 2008, and it's finally here. It's been taking years in the making. All right, of constantly making a diligent search, as the scriptures say, man. They make a diligent search, and the heart is deep. All right, so they've been using you in so many different ways just to see if this will work, to see how much mind control they have over the people. You see, that's why this devil has to be taken out of the way. This is why we need YAHAWAH'S, because before you even knew this truth, you didn't even know that they were plotting on you to begin with.
Cafes have already started showing what percentage of your carbon allowance each meal uses, and conveniently tied to the exact time when they're rolling out digital IDs. Soon you'll have your digital ID inside your digital wallet, where you'll also store your carbon passport and track your personal carbon allowance.
And the reason they're giving you this digital wallet with this digital ID is, again, for gradualism. So when they come out with the actual MOTB, all right, that MARK is going to be the same type of form, but just in one place together. You see, they're showing you that it's already being put in one place together through your phone, through your wallet. But Mr. Kill Gates said, what? We don't need no more phones. You are a Wi-Fi. You are a computer. So eventually it's going to be brought to you. You see, that's just a step closer. All right. The precursor to show you that, hey, this can work on humans. Okay. We just have to find a way to bait them to it, to make them feel like it's normal. And they do it through what? Through gradualism. Okay.
passport, which goes in there conveniently as well. If you want to travel or work, you'll need to make sure all of your records and boosters are up to date. So this might be the last time in history where you can travel, eat, and live freely without government permission. Let me know in the comments what you think about this, and make sure to share this with someone who needs to know.
Right?
Here?
So let me grab another one.
United Nations Agenda 20. It is the
go,
inventory
Esau.
and control
Bullshit.
plan. Inventory and control of all United Nations Agenda 21.
And this is in Rio de Janeiro that is going to show you here. Not the one that's speaking, but the one that's in the background. It says, this is why we need digital ID. Do not comply.
Development. It is the inventory and control plan. Inventory and control.
And that's what it is about. That's what technocracy is to have total control through something, you see? So, you know, every day they're trying to find a better way, all right? Another way to basically control you completely. You know, there's going to be no more, you know, loopholes. There's going to be no more, you know, I could beat the government. You know, there's going to be no more making money on the side. You know, you doing side jobs. Everything is going to be tracked. That's what that whole carbon footprint is about, man. That every move you make, okay, they're going to be on top of it. And then when they finally make that mandatory where they have to bring out the RFID, then you're totally messed up. You're totally fucked after that, because you won't even be able to breathe without them knowing how many breaths you done took. You see, you wouldn't be able to go take a dump, a number 2 in the bathroom without them knowing how long it was. You see, that's what this devil's about, man. You see? And again, this is why we have to get the hell up out of here, man. We will never make it in this place. We will constantly sin daily, all right? And because this devil's our accuser of our brethren, you know what I'm saying? He would just sit there and blame and look at the Lord and say, look what your people doing all day long, you see? Because it's just total control of you, your mind, you know, your everyday life. And that's not a way that a person shall live, man. We're supposed to have a certain type of freedom, you know, not freedom to do wickedness, but we're supposed to be living in a certain type of freedom. And this devil just wants to pile us up on top of each other and then have total control of every single thing, of our thoughts, you know, of our families, you know, of who you being involved with. Okay.
All water, all minerals, all plants, all animals, all construction, all means of production, all food, all energy, all information, and all human beings in the world.
The fact that she said even animals and plants, you see, and you've seen that. This is why do you think they have a Discovery Channel, a National Geographic channel? Are they not just constantly you know, sea hipping the shit out of animals all day long, tagging them, you know, and studying their every move, you know? Same thing with plants. What plants do, they constantly tag them, have all total control over them, you know, even as far as them making us, you know, medical making medicines and all that. They had how you think they're able to make these medicines? They use pieces of actual plants, you know, that are supposed to be helpful, and they put about 2% in it, and then they control it with the rest of it with pharmakia, you know, the mixing of all different types of chemicals, you know. So they literally have control of almost every aspect of life, all right, except us, which that is coming right behind it. You see, we're the last and final test, basically, which they know that they could be successful in it, because that's why they tried on animals and things like that, man. Okay.
Was agreed to by 179 nations back in 1992. It's a United Nations plan. It's called the Agenda for the 21st Century. And so many of us around the world think that sustainable development just sounds so great. Isn't it about recycling and creative reuse and creating energy and food resources for everyone? And the answer is no, it really is not. It's about moving populations into city centers, concentrated city centers,
and clearing them out of the rural areas. It's
and that's going into these, and that's going into them smart cities and all that. You see, and if you don't comply, like she said, they're trying to take them out the way. If they don't comply with these things, what's going to happen? They just going to turn you off. You see, turn you right off, and you basically become another one that's depopulated in this earth, man. All right. And they figured that we the animals, all right, and they're only trying to get rid of who? They're trying to get rid of Jake, you know, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? And eventually, you know, they figure if they take us out, then they will have the world to themselves the way they're supposed to, while they record all our thoughts, you know, download our thoughts into computers, and then they'll just live in their little, you know, their little white world that they want. All right, because this whole new world order doesn't have no room for no Israelites, man. They want to make it, you know, like Pac said back in his albums, man. It's a white man's world, you see, and that's exactly what they wanted to continue. You see, they want to, because Esau has no more blessings except the fatness of the earth and basically this world here, you know. But he knows that the world to come, there's nothing for him, so he's trying to create his own world here in society by taking us out of the way and being able to have, you know, their inward thought being that their houses are going to continue forever, you know, under having the thoughts recorded of Israelite people, you know, and basically, you know, with a whole bunch of machines of transhumanism, okay, to eventually the point where it's just, you know, just straight cyborgs, machines that are taking over everything and can do everything for them, you know. And there will be no Israelites here. If it was up to them, it would be no Israelites in the world, man. Okay, because they don't need, there's no room for Israelites in their world. They totally hate you. It's a perpetual hatred, man. You see? Shalom, sister YAHAWAH'S Brakatah.
Organizations, corporations, and government in order to dictate and regulate what it is that happens around the world. Regionalization is the stepping stone to globalization, and globalization is the standardization of all systems. All systems have to be brought into harmony in order to control them all. And the goal of Agenda 21 is one world government and total control from a central unit. The principles are public-private partnerships, which is fascism. And this is how it's implemented on the ground, is through this joining together between corporations, non-governmental organizations, and governments in order to cut out the actual individual, your voter, and instead to take that to a level where we literally cannot penetrate. This is a corporatocracy. It's a totalitarian state being developed right now all over the world while we are moving towards the end game. We are not there. And this is the opportunity that all of us have now to stand up, to speak out. We are free, and we need to continue to be free. And I do believe that we will win, but we have to become aware that there is a fight.
Man, there ain't no way around it. If you don't have YAHAWAH'S, you can't make it up out of here. If it wasn't for the Lord's sake, right? Basically for the elect's sake, Salakia, for him shortening the days, that's it. We'd be done. There will be no flesh saved. This will play out, and it will play out as long as the Lord would allow it. You know what I'm saying? But see, this is why the Lord's going to intervene. All right. He's going to make sure that they don't prosper in their enterprise. All right, because he has his limits that he cannot pass, his bounds that he cannot pass. You see, the Lord has allowed him to rule as much as he is allowed to rule. He has been a long disease, and that's why the physician cometh to cut off a long disease, man. Okay, and that's why it says, "He that is a king today, tomorrow shall die." You see, because it's enough. Enough is enough. All right. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So there had to be an end to Esau's era, okay? And that's what this is all about. This eon that he has ruled in, okay? This era he has ruled in, that's it. Time is up, okay? Now, let's grab... you got Illinois to roll out digital IDs.
For the first time ever, Illinoisans will be able to add their driver's license or state ID directly to their Apple Wallet. To get started,
and I believe I already brought this one out in my last video. All right, but Illinois is rolling out their digital IDs. You got Arkansas.
Starting tomorrow for the
You
first.
got Arkansas and Virginia. They have just committed to the Apple Wallet digital ID. Okay. Let me see. Let me grab this one right here.
If there's any hill you intend to die on, this is it. If they manage to put this in place while everybody's distracted with arguing over Charlie Kirk and debating whether Trump's peace plan is viable and whether the Arabs are the good guys or the Jews the bad guys or what's going on, all this sort of stuff, and distracted by all this crap, then this is going to come online. And the only thing that's going to stop it is our complete non-compliance. And again, withdrawing service from the people that are attempting to enslave humanity this way. You don't have to put up with this. Maybe, you don't want to have a revolution. You're a non-violent person. You don't want to do anything untoward. You don't want to get yourself in trouble. You don't believe that there's anybody you can vote in or out to fix the problem, and you're correct because you can't. There is no political remedy to any of this. Well, one thing you can do is withdraw service from all of these people. That's something we can all do.
No, you can't. And that's not true. You can't do that because they're going to force it upon you. Just like how they've shoved, when it came for us being in the time of slaveries, right? All these different type of captivities, especially when the transatlantic slave trade came, they shoved it down our throats with all these different religions. All right. So what makes you think they ain't going to shove this shit down your throat? Especially you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So you could try to stand up against it. You could all boycott it all you want. They will find a way to shove it down your throat because they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. You see, that's what he does. He comes to take peace. He comes to take, he comes to bring violence. Okay. He comes to, steal and kill. That's what this devil's about. You cannot get him away from his nature. You see, he is not satisfied with just bloodshed, man. And he gonna cause nothing but bloodshed to get what he wants. You see, that's what a serpent does. A serpent, when he hungry, a real snake, when he hungry, he don't give a shit what is around him. All right, you don't want to feed him, stick your hand in there. Go ahead and stick your hand inside that damn tank. See if he don't try to grab your ass and eat your ass. Whether he could do it or not, what I'm saying? He's still gonna attack to try to get what he wants. Food. All right, so this devil, all right, he is a cunning serpent. All right, so he will sit there and wait. Okay, and if he doesn't get it in one way, he'll find another way to get at it,
Having a class.
Forget about that.
You want the link?
Forget about that resisting the government. All right, this is
And I've explained that if you sign up for digital ID, it's a really important decision you make because your digital ID will be the only thing that your governments, institutions, anybody authorized by those holding power will recognize you through. So you won't exist anymore. You'll be replaced by a QR code. You are not a number, you're an address to some resources. And that makes it particularly dangerous because those resources can be edited, and one of those fields, for sure, will be your...
And that goes exactly with them scriptures that I was saying before, all right? For the elect's sake, the day shall be shortened, because if not, then no flesh will be saved. You see, he just said it. You're just going to be no more. You're just going to be one code, man. You see? And that's not even, that's because these people think that the digital ID is the MARK. They don't have no understanding that it's going to lead to that one thing, okay? But he's right about once you pretty much take that digital ID, that's it. You're just the end of your freedom. Because that's the beginning of you already being tracked in your every move. All right. The RFID is just the icing on the cake. Okay. That's the icing in the cake for you to basically, sin before your maker. All right. That's going to be your ultimate destruction. Okay. And then that's just going to be the way that they tap into everything in your mind. You see, they can't tap into everything in your mind with the digital ID. They just want the biometrics of it. What you look like, so they know that you're not a fraudulent person. It's really you when it comes to whatever you're trying to get your hands on. All right. They're going to know that, all right, this person is legit. You see, That's basically the biometrics is to take down all the loopholes that were once, you know, able to be used to go around the shit of the government, you know, for you to be able to, you know, make money on the side without these devils knowing. You see, that's what that the biometrics is for. Okay. But see, the RFID is for your soul. Okay. That's for you to completely sin before your maker and be destroyed. Okay.
Status. And I'm absolutely sure, because I've seen it written down in multiple documents, that your digital ID will only remain valid if you comply with the conditions of validity. So one of them will be, have you had your latest recommended or mandated jabs? And because of the fact that I'm qualified toxicology and worked for decades with others in what's called rational drug design, when I look at these jabs, the constituents, I am certain, formally certain, that they were designed to hurt you. And so, you know, the digital ID will lose validity unless you roll your sleeve up. You must see that's designed to injure, and I believe ultimately kill you. And I've explained that if you sign up for this,
it's gonna eventually kill you for a reason, because it's gonna lead to that RFID. All right, let's grab
It didn't go broke, they got deleted. In China, tens of thousands of young people are suddenly homeless, not because of money, but because the system erased them.
Imagine a society where everything you do, everything you say, and everything you buy is controlled and evaluated by the authorities. This is what the Chinese Communist Party calls social credit.
By using the mechanism of social credit, we'll be able to establish a blacklist of people and create a system of punishment that will be based on a scientific theory. These punishments will serve as a whip to rebuild moral values. Our society needs it.
The country's social credit system decides who's trustworthy, but if you're blacklisted, it's game over. Your WeChat Pay stops working, you can't receive your salary, can't buy food, can't even book a train ticket. It's like being alive, but digitally. Many are now sleeping in the streets, cut off from everything.
See, and this is why,
housing, even communication.
this is why the Lord is, you know, training your mind now for, you know, not to for the want of things. You know, scriptures say, what? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You see, so the Lord is, you know, training your mind not to want anything of this world. Okay, because what does it tell you in Deuteronomy 28 chapter? That it is a curse upon the people that they shall go to their oppressor for the want of all things, and nakedness and hunger and thirst. You see, but the Lord is teaching you through the Spirit, all right, through these scriptures, man, that you don't need none of that. You have the creator of all things, the one that created their mindset, the one that created their thoughts, you know. And by you having that and tapping into YAHAWAH'S basis, man, you ain't got nothing to worry about. All right, because the Lord is your safe haven. The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous man is going to run into it and be safe every single time. You know, scriptures say, whoever abide, you know, let me just grab it real quick. Let me make sure. Let's finish.
It's not science fiction.
It's almost done.
Many are now sleeping in the streets, cut off from everything, jobs, housing, even communication, all because one app, one algorithm decided they don't belong.
It's not science fiction. In China, it's a reality. Then there's the public shaming, photo galleries of blacklisted citizens. There's even an app that shows who around you is in debt.
They're not criminals. They didn't steal, cheat, or harm anyone. They just fell too low on a score and vanished from the digital world. Critics say it's a glimpse into the future where technology doesn't just track your life, it controls it. So ask yourself, if your entire life depended on your digital reputation, how long before you get deleted?
Man, listen, that shit is bugged. That shit crazy how it just said they got a whole list where they could just straight tell you what this damn devil's about. What this person's about. Grab this before I forget it. This is Ecclesiasticus 2. All right. Ecclesiasticus 2 and 10. And it says, look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord Yahawashi and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? And or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy and long suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in the time of affliction, man. So that's why the Lord has constantly drilled in your head to put the trust in him. You see, you got, let's grab this. This is Psalms 20 and I believe it's 4:7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord Yahweh, our power. You see? So, you know, chariots going into the things of this world, man. These people trust in the things of this world. The horses is power, representative of power. So, because these people have power, all right, they literally trust in them. They trust in the things of the world and they trust in their government. You see? Now, what I wanted to bring out, all right, as a matter of fact, let me bring that out and set it up. But let me get another precept to what I was just bringing out. This is, I want this, so I don't forget it. All right, that, and then let me grab, it says some trust in chariots and some on horses, right? Isaiah 31 says what? 31:3. Now the Egyptians, all right, going into all these Americans, right, are men and not God, not power. You see, they're men. Their horses, all right, their power is flesh and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. Okay, so, you know, as a matter of fact, if you go up in the first verse, it says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. You see? And again, the Lord said that they're nobodies, man. They're just flesh. Okay? Why? If the Lord be for us, who could be against us? You see? What can man do unto you if Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi is behind your back? The creator of all things, you see? And now what I wanted to grab is when they said, let me grab it real quick to see if he says it again. All right. He said a key word, a key thing right here.
They got deleted. Don't belong.
It's not science fiction. In
He
China,
said this part.
it's a reality. Then there's the public shaming. Photo galleries of
Public
blacklisted
shaming.
Citizens. There's even an app that shows who around you is in debt.
They're not criminals.
See, the fact that they doing public shaming is them trying to play God, yo. Is them trying to play Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Because the scriptures talk about how how their sins are gonna be put out to shame. All right. This is second Ezra's, all right, 16 and 64. I'll take it from 63. Matter of fact, 62. It says, yeah, and the spirit of the Almighty Yahweh, which made all things and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth, surely he knoweth your inventions and what you think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin. Therefore has the Lord exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be accusers in that day. What will you do, or what will you? How will you hide your sins before Yahweh and his angels? Behold, Yahweh himself, the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. All right, and it's literally them trying to mock the Lord, man. The fact that they're gonna have a whole wall of fame and spew, you know, out your shame and let these people know, oh look, he didn't want to comply, and social credit score is messed up, and they just gonna let the world know, you know, and now you're gonna, basically what they're trying to do is put you to shame so you can comply with them. You see, that's wicked as hell, man. showing you that they all trying to be playing the role of the Lord, man. Okay, and they all get that from Esau, because that's out there in China right now. See, that's why the scriptures say war into Asia. All right, let me get, says I'm right here, right next to it. 2nd Ezra 15 and where's it at? 45 6. It says, thou Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person. Woe be unto thee, thou wretched, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please the glory in thy lovers. All right, they might please and glory in thy lovers, which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee. Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith the Lord Yahweh, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, and waste thy houses with destruction and death. You see, so they're not going to be, you know, exempt from judgment. All right, all these nations are going to go through judgment also, man, because they all want to be just like America. They all have drinking the wine and fornication of America, Babylon the Great. Okay, all these nations want to be just like Babylon. You see, that's why Babylon no more is that powerhouse, because you got too many copycats, you know. And once you got a bunch of copycats, all right, that's it. You're no longer the original. There's a whole bunch of people copying you, man. You see? So let me just grab
We're all being watched 24/7, and this is how they're doing it. This is Titan Point in the middle of New York City. Like, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. And it's just the most unhuman looking building ever. No windows, no lights, just these massive vents that go all the way around. Everyone on the street walks by it like it doesn't even exist. At night, it goes completely dark, disappearing from view like it's actually not even there. But what is it? Why does it look like some evil villain's fortress, some dystopian looking monument straight out of Dune? The official story is that it's an AT&T phone line building that was built in the 70s. And for the most part, that's what it is. Millions of calls are routed through its servers every day. But these are some of the few images of the inside of the building that exist, which were all taken in the 90s. Apparently, people aren't even supposed to be inside of it. And it's designed to run almost entirely remote, completely empty of human beings. Just cold, calculated machines running a pretty dark operation. Because Edward Snowden exposed what this building is really doing.
yeah, and that movie, if you had never seen it, it's called Snowden. That's a good ass movie. You know, that's why his ass is in the run. That's why he working for Putin now. You know, because this is why Putin knows a lot of shit. You know, how to break into a lot of. This is why there's going to be a major cyber attack because of people like him. That movie Snowden, all he did, what they showed you is that he had to be on the run because he ended up finding out and exposing what America was doing behind closed doors, man, taking all your information. You know, that movie was badass, yo. They were literally, they could watch you from he had to put his phone in a damn microwave. Every time he was in the house, he had to put his phone in a microwave and just let it sit there with the door closed so they wouldn't be able to track him. You know, it was showing you how you could have your fucking TV off, power off on your TV, disconnected from the wall, and they could still look at through your TV, man. If you didn't know that every TV has a camera in it, every single TV in your household has a camera. Okay, these devils could see what you're doing through your router, through your Wi-Fi router, through the frequencies of the router. They can literally see what you're doing behind closed doors. You see, they got all types of technology that can see through your house. You know, you got little spy machines as small as fucking the size of gnats that can fly around in your house, man, and be watching every move that you do. You see, if you never watched that movie Snowden, go check it out. It's a heavy movie. All right. And he literally had to leave and go to Russia because they were looking for him to kill his ass over here on this side. You see, but this is just their tongue falling upon them, man. You know.
NSA whistleblower who's been hiding in Russia for like over 10 years because the government's literally after him. Well, in some of his leaked documents, they're talked about a central surveillance hub in the middle of New York City that was run by AT&T, codenamed Titan Point, a building that used a very technology called 4ESS switches. And the only building that's in New York City run by AT&T and uses 4ESS switches is this one right here. And for the most part, it is a data routing center for phone calls, internet, and satellite communications. But the leaked documents reveal that there's a hidden room in this building called the SCIF, Sensitive
And basically that goes in cahoots with that one building that's out there in Sweden, all right, in Belgium, all right. It is that's building 666. Where I made a couple videos on that talking about that. You know, it's a supercomputer building, man, where everything that you've ever done on your phone goes there. So now it makes sense of why you're on the west side and everything that's being done on this side goes to that building they're talking about right now. And then from that building, it goes to the major building that's over there in Sweden, you know, and all they've been doing is just constantly recording every single thing that you have been doing, you know.
Information wiretap room that duplicates right here. And for the most part, it is a data routing center for phone calls, internet, and satellite communications. But the leaked documents reveal that there's a hidden room in this building called the SCIF, Sensitive Compartmented Information Facility, which basically acts as a wiretap room that duplicates all the data that passes through the building and sends it directly to the NSA, the National Security Agency run by the US government, who use an internal search engine called X-Keyscore that allows them to search up any information that passes through this building, making this building a massive spy center for all your private phone and internet data hidden in plain sight. Its address is also 33 Thomas Street, and if you don't know what 33 means, this is not the video for that. But hey, if you don't live
33 goes into Freemasons, goes into those Freemasonry. You know, the top people of the Freemasons, they're 33-degree Masons, you know, so that's what it goes back to. You know, showing you that it's ran by these elites. You know, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, those elites. That's who we battle every day, you know, through spiritual wickedness in high places, you know, the powers of darkness of this world, you know.
Region, surely your private data is safe, right? Nope, because there are at least 8 other hubs like these across the US that are used by the NSA for the very same purpose. In LA, San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, Washington, DC, all run by AT&T. Creepy, dystopian-looking buildings with little to no windows that don't look like they were made for humans, but for machines that are slowly replacing our human workforce. Makes you wonder if this is the direction that buildings and city skylines of the future are headed in, all run by cold, calculated programs with no regard for privacy or human values, watching every move you make. Things are getting pretty 1984 out here. We're all being watched 24/7.
Listen, man, we need to get up out of here ASAP. Not today, not tomorrow, but yesterday. All right. So let me just bring out the famous scripture, all right, that we continually keep bringing out over and over. All right, because this is what it's all going to lead to at the end of the day. All right. This is, matter of fact, before I grab that, I'll grab this real quick. This is Isaiah 30 and 3. And it says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Okay. So continually keep putting your trust in this government. All right, it's going to lead you to the wrong place, man. As a matter of fact, let me grab this. This is Hosea 6 and it's like not 6, 10. Hosea 10 and 13 in the NLT, and it says, but you have cultivated wickedness and harvested a thriving crop of sins. You have eaten the fruit of lies, trusting in your military might, believing that great armies could make your nation safe. Okay. So at the end of the day, this place is not safe for you. The Lord said, what? Arise and depart, for this is not your rest. It will even destroy you with a sword destruction. Okay. That's what this place, America, was made for, man, to destroy you. Okay, this is Revelations 13 and 16, and it says, and he calls it all, both small and great. Okay, all meaning worldwide, globally. Okay, both small and great, from the oldest to the newest born on planet Earth a day old. All right, rich and poor. Okay, Showing you there's going to be two classifications, man. Just poor and rich. No more in the middle. Okay. Free and bond. All right. Those that is walking out here having a good old time, or those that are locked up for life for a couple months, whatever. Okay. It says to receive a MARK in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay. Which, you know, let's grab. I usually go into the word MARK as charagma, right? Let's go into forehead today. All right. Forehead. All right. Showing you that it's going to be right there on the brain. All right. When you go into the word forehead, it goes into the word metapon. Okay. Forehead goes into the word metapon. Okay. And it says the space between the eyes. Okay. The forehead. So between your eyes, okay, is your forehead. But when you go into that word metapon, it goes into meta. Okay. It says with, after, or behind. So you got your space between your eyes, which is your forehead. But what's behind your forehead? Your brain. You see, showing you that it's going to be that technology that Mr. Musk. Okay. And we're not talking about that nasty ass old for 86-year-old men that wear musk. All right, we're talking about Mr. Musk himself. All right, he wants to put in what? He wants to put in that what do you call it? The ID basically in your forehead, man. Okay, going into the damn, I forgot the name of it for a second. Literally, damn, I can't even get it out. It'll come to me in a second. Got a brain fart on that one. All right, but you know, he wants to put it into your brain. You know, at the end of the day, it ain't just in the RFID. You're gonna have people that are willingly gonna be able to take it, you know, right in their foreheads. Okay, and then it says meta, because meta, it goes into what? That metaverse. Okay, that it makes all sense right in front of your face, man. All right, hold on real quick. That's what it's called, Neuralink. I couldn't fucking remember it for a second. Holy shit. Ain't nothing but a brain fart. All right. So you know, this is where they get that Neuralink from, okay? And what they want to do, you know, Neuralink goes into linking your neurotransmitters. All right. That's what we have in our brains, man. Neurotransmitters that act like pretty much Wi-Fi's. All right. And then you put that into your brain, the actual technology, and it slowly connects to your neurotransmitters on its own. Because your neurotransmitters are what sends out the data from your brain, you know, sends the data out to your arm to make you say, you know, I'm going to pick up my hand. Well, the Neuralinks is going to tell you, boom, send the data saying, I'm going to pick up my hand. And that's why you pick up your hand, you know. So with that Neuralink, all right, they're able to basically, you know, that's how they're going to be able to tap into your thoughts. Okay. And here it is. It says meta, which goes into that metaverse. All right. And the Strong's definition says, it says meta, denoting a companionment amid, hold on, modified variously according to the case, generative association or accusative succession or accusative succession with which it is joined, occupying an intermediate position between, hold on, it's got all these different Strongs. Ooh, this is juicy. This must be some new shit. Hold on. It says with which it is joined, occupying an intermediate position between G575 or G1537. Let me see what these Strongs go into. G575 goes into Apo. Okay, it says of separation, a local separation at the verbs of motion from a place of departing or fleeing. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna have to go into that and study that real hard. There's a lot of information right there on these strong G's. All right, another one it goes into, it says ek. It says out of, from, by, away from. It says heartly, heavenly. Ooh. Yeah, nah, I ain't even gonna bring this out because I'm gonna have to study this real good because I see a couple things in here that's very important that it's saying. I see one that says heartly, heavenly. Yeah, because if it says away from, all right, ek goes into the biblical usage of away from, and then when you go to the Strong's definition, it says heavenly, heartly. But that's what they're trying to take you away from. You know, they're trying to take your your God gene from being attached to the Lord, basically, you know. They're able to do that and reprogram you and take you away from the heavenly spirit that the Lord has upon his men, you know, the Israelites. Okay, which is a matter of fact, you know, I remember one of the videos that somebody did a while back. You know, you had one of these false ass camps that were taking they ended up taking the Yo Jabba Jabba. I believe it was from ISUPK because they were one of the groups that were antagonizing people to basically go ahead and take that, which that shit was completely wicked. But I remember one of them said that the moment they took it, they felt their spirit leave from their mind. Yeah, because it destroyed their God brain, probably. Their God gene. All right, but I ain't even gonna go too into that right now because I just see a whole bunch of shit in here that's very critical. I just got to study it real good. I never really went into that metapon in there like that. All right. You have also, let me see. So I can just give because I'm already done with it. I just want to see what's in here. It says less intimate than and less close than, against, among, and substantially the same relations of participation or proximity and transfer or sequence. Yeah, they got some heavy shit in there. But the point is, all right, that you know, it goes in that word metapon goes into meta, which means behind. All right. So the space between your eyes, which is your forehead, and then after the forehead, all right, behind your forehead comes what? Comes your brain. So that's how they're going to be able to connect you to that neural link at the end of the day. Okay. And you know, it's either that or the RFID. And regardless if you do that, all right, what's going to happen to you? Okay. You're not going to be able to buy or sell, okay, without that MARK. All right. And the Lord said you have to use wisdom and understand that it's a number of a man, right? Which is 666. But anybody that takes that, this is what it tells you in Revelations 14:9, and I'll end it on that. It says, then a third angel followed them, shouting, anyone who worships, okay, the beast or his statue, or so like I'm reading from the NLT. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast or his image, or receive his MARK in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. You see, that's going to be your torment, man, with fire, burning sulfur. Okay. Chariots hitting you with concentrated laser beams at the same time you're taking a missile right to the face. You know, imagine that. And it's gonna be a slow burn. It ain't gonna be no shit that is just you're just powder and you're done with. And okay, I'm ready for the kingdom. Nah, the Lord gonna slow burn you, man. He gonna remember the scriptures say, "Fear not him that could kill the soul, but fear him that could kill the body and the soul." You see, so that means he gonna make you feel it from the inside out. You know, very slowly too. You know, so you can learn your lesson. You imagine that, man. The Lord is cruel, man. He gonna make you feel that, and at the same time of you burning, you probably gonna have all the same. You're gonna have all the memories of every time you tried to turn down the name of the Lord. Every time you was turning down prophets. You know, imagine that while you're burning, you feeling that, and you're seeing that as you're burning at the same time, screaming out the top of your lungs because the burn is so damn bad. You see. So this is why you got to fear Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, because it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, man, on the left-hand side. Okay? It's a beautiful thing to fall in the hands of the Lord on the right-hand side, man, because that's your salvation. You know, the Lord said his right arm, right, is gonna do the saving, you know. which is a metaphor. Okay. So at the end of the day, Lord willing, you were edified. So with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Haloim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing, that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. Shalom. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah, sister.